Welcome back to NewsWire here on SportsGrid. We've got some very special guests coming up. There's a brand new film that's going to debut on September the 12th. The film is titled Clemente, and here is a sneak peek.
He just played at another level.
The unsinkable pirate.
You were just kind of in awe.
A Clemente home run.
He was so stylish.
Oh, how did he do that?
So unmistakable.
I've never seen a pro like that in my life.
I can never tell if he was aware of how cool he looked.
That was a very proud Puerto Rican.
To him, his people were first. And I'm telling you, don't mess with Puerto Ricans. ¿Comprende, mi amigo?
She said when she saw him, her heart skipped.
Ay, Dios mío.
When he got home, he told his mother, I met the girl I'm gonna marry.
Tenía un corazón de oro.
He would hold baseball clinics. And he would do it for free.
It really transcends sport.
When you talk about Clemente, you talk about the legacy he left outside of the game.
It was his way to getting his message across.
Roberto rolls into spring training, doesn't know what's about to hit him.
Puerto Rican culture was deeply maligned.
Dad was hot-tempered. You want some dirt? I'll give you some dirt.
You have talked about for 18 years. You don't get the kind of exposure that the other athletes do.
If I'm good enough to play here, I have to be good enough to be treated like the rest of the players.
Finding out what really happened was the most devastating research I've done in my career.
La historia no puede morir de legado.
In that World Series, Clemente showed the world what he could do.
Seguimos hablando por él porque creo que no se le ha honrado como se debe. He wanted to represent every person suffering injustice.
A truly wonderful film, and to talk about is the director, David Altrogge, and also Roberto Clemente Jr. here on NewsWire. Gentlemen, what an honor it is to have you here on the show ahead of the premiere on the 12th of September. David, I'll start with you, and then Roberto, I know we have a lot to talk about too. David, the rumor is that you were a great baseball player as a kid, and that's how you got interested. No, I'm just kidding. I heard
that is very false rumor. So.
I heard the opposite. A little lighthearted to begin, but certainly congratulations. What a wonderful film
Thank
this
you.
was. I did not expect to be as emotionally invested in a film like this as I have, and certainly as somebody who has followed a lot of sports documentaries, I know that this one was very close to your heart growing up outside of Pittsburgh. And so let's start with that. Your idea behind getting involved in the film and choosing to put it together.
Yeah, I mean, it started in 2018 or 19. And it's just, I mean, let's be honest, it's a scary time to be a human right now in the world. There's just so much division. There's just so much just fighting. And I just was like looking for someone to give me some hope, and someone that I could make a film about that my kids could look up to as just like, hey, your lives matter. And I remembered hearing that this guy, this Pittsburgh Pirate who died years before I was born, died helping people. So I started doing research. And was just blown away. As someone who's terrible at baseball, I respected deeply what he did on the field. But I was most moved by what he did off the field. These just acts of kindness and empathy for outsiders, for people who would be viewed as nobodies, and that he sought them out, and that just so deeply moved me. I said, I went to my producing partner and said, dude, we got to make this film. And so, that started this incredible journey in 2019 that, I connected with the Clemente Museum here in Pittsburgh, Dwayne Reeder, and he helped me get an interview with Roberto's mom before she passed away. That was so special. I think it was Roberto. It was the last interview she did before she passed, right? I think it was. And, that was
correct.
That just, so special. And then, of course, getting to know Roberto I guess just as a friend. I've become friends with him, which is been such a blessing to know his family and his family's incredible story. So it's been a wild 6-year ride, and I'm just so excited to be able to share this film with the world.
Yeah, September the 12th is the debut. Roberto, what an honor it is to have you here on NewsWire. Really appreciate it. And what I like to say about your father, and not just the film in general, but it being somebody who broadcasts baseball, is that your father was truly a one of one. I don't think that's said enough in sports. People talk about GOATs and the best ever, but there was just simply nobody like him. And you got to share so many moments that you still remember as a kid, and a lot of moments too that were sort of in your family and also in the charitable work or in silence. Nobody knew that it was around.
Yes, Craig, thanks for having us. I can tell you that the story, and I can tell you the job that David did was very difficult, because there are so many stories within the story. To be able to pick and choose how you're going to tie this story together in less than 2 hours, 2 hours, really, being able to get the whole story out there as much as you can. But he was truly a Renaissance man, and someone that truly impacted so many people because of not only the way he played the game, but I always say that he was an angel that happened to play baseball.
You shared in a previous interview, David, about a couple of stories that I felt were incredible in the film. One where basically he goes into somebody's house and just has dinner after seeing them outside, which is just wild. And then another where he misses the bus, and all of a sudden just like some random fan is taking him to the airport. I mean, and can you imagine that in this day and age? And by the way, can you even imagine that 40, 50 years ago?
No. And that's, that was something that I think I was just so moved by, is he not only he just sought out and made friends with people. I think there was just he didn't want to hang out with celebrities, and he didn't want to hang out with super famous people and the powerful. He wanted to hang out with normal people. So he'd see a kid, throwing a rubber ball against a brick wall after a game. And I think most of us after working would be like, I'm just going home and got to unwind. And Clemente, leaving Three River Stadium, he sees this kid and he stops and plays catch with the kid just to have this moment of connection with a fan that he didn't have to do. And then the kid's mom invites him in for dinner, and I would be like, I'm sorry, I gotta go. I'm tired. I've been working. But he goes in and he has dinner, and he makes these moments with people. Roberto, I don't know how you understand that, but that blew my mind.
The stories are endless, and not only, that story in itself shows who he was. And I remember being in the car with him, and, he and I will be in the car, and he will see kids in a playground or playing a lot. He would drive in, get out of the car, start playing with them. That was a natural thing for him to do. So the stories are endless of the impact that he had on so many kids that had that moment with him out of the blue. I mean, he didn't have to do it, but he really did it because he cared. He cared about those kids and wanted to make sure that he touched them.
David, as we wrap it up, I know you have a lot of interviews today ahead of this film debut on the 12th. Tell me about just the film coming to completion and the excitement that is surrounding this, that we're going to get to see and the world will get to see here in a couple of weeks.
Well, I'm just so proud of this film, and I couldn't be more grateful for Roberto and his brothers and his late mother that they entrusted my team and I with this story. And I hope I hope all the viewers who are watching go see it in theaters on September 12th. You can learn more at www.clemente.film. And yeah, go see this movie and get ready to cry. Bring a box of tissues.
Definitely so. Emotional for me watching it as well. Gentlemen, thanks so much for coming on NewsWire. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.